What's up, everybody? So, I recently played a game that I think is a really good example showcasing a concept that I call a slow open, which is a completely different approach to the early to mid game with Kindred than what maybe more traditionally or what in the majority of our game states, matchups, that kind of stuff that we're going to be playing into. Usually with Kindred, we want to be really aggressive. We want to look for early ganks, potentially even skipping camps, invading. Level 2, level 3 is really strong against most champs, and we want to use that to our advantage, get an early lead, snowball the game, that kind of gameplay. Well, this game was the complete opposite. So I wanted to share this to express and maybe help some other people who are struggling in some lower elos with games where you don't have either strong champions in the early game or your team just really doesn't do well in the early game, but your composition has really good scaling for the late game potentially if you're able to make it there. So this game, I had a Nasus and an Asol. A Nasus top, Asol mid, and my bot lane was Emilio Caitlyn into a Varus and Brand. And I was playing into a Volibear jungle as well. So the kind of synapses or kind of conclusion that I had on the way that this early game was going to go was I figured Volibear is going to be really aggressive early, be really strong early. He's going to want to use that. He's going to want to pressure the map. Varus Brand is a kill lead, right? Brand is going to want to deal damage. He's going to want to kill stuff. And then I've got Emilio on my side, which is kind of the opposite, right? Emilio Caitlyn is a pretty safe lane. And Varus Brand I deemed as a kill lead, at least relative to Emilio Caitlyn. You know, there's not much kill threat there, and there's definitely kill threat coming from the red side. And with the Volibear jungle, I recognized that there was a real possibility that Volibear could play bot, and even level 3, and he could get a double kill, or they could just wipe out the bot lane and gap the bot lane, and we could lose the early game through bot lane so hard that maybe it would prevent us from being able to get into the mid game. You know, I saw that as a real potential possibility for this bot lane to go 0-7, 0-10, that kind of thing, because the matchup it laid itself to that type of scenario. You know, Volibear, Brand, and Varus into a Caitlyn Emilio. If they start dying, it's going to be really hard for them not to keep dying if Volibear chooses to camp that lane. And Volibear is really strong early, so it's a little bit harder for me to kind of contest what he wants to do in this early game if I don't have support on my lanes, and that's why I recognize the real threat of this bot lane becoming huge. So my priority, and with an Asol and Nasus as my other laners, that's like peak scaling if they're allowed, you know, if they're able to just stay alive and stay on the map. So my priority this early game really wasn't to get any plays off. I wasn't really looking for kills. I wasn't gonna try to snowball the map or get my first item before 9 minutes or anything like that. I did not have those expectations at all. I'm gonna pause this for just a moment so I can, because we're starting to get into some gameplay here. I didn't have those expectations at all of really being able to take over this game state, this map, early on, because of what I outlined specifically with this bot lane matchup. You know, I just knew that they're gonna have prio bot early, and we need to make it to late. And with the way the solo queue goes, you know, just so often these games just blow up in a few minutes, and everyone tilts and gives up, and there's just no recovery. So my game plan was give up all that stuff. And I'm going to back this up just a little bit so we can talk about this, because we're getting to the decision making now that we're done with our first clear. So that was the first thing. The first decision that I made is I didn't invade. I didn't go for any aggressive warding. I actually pinged, if we go back here a little bit, down to this we're before our first camp spawn. If you look at how we opened, I dropped a ward on my red just in case there was an invade, And I actually pinged, it was a little bit before this, I guess, and I don't want to keep skipping around. It's not that important. But I caution pinged my bot lane just in case Volibear came in through this bot side. I was really cautious walking around here, knowing that they could be invading. Came up in here to clear top to bot. But even right now, you know, I'm very mindful of the possibility that Volibear could come in here through this top side and cause problems if he chose to. But Nasus is pushing out, so it's a little bit safer for me at that point. You know, Asol can collapse as well, so it's really not a great play for him, but, you know, people are psychopaths in solo queue. And in my kind of evaluation with Volibear in the early game is I prefer to really not match him. I actually try to avoid him until at least I get kind of like level 6 or an item, or if I can get an advantage over one of the other lanes. And then I'll try to kind of contest him when I'm a bit stronger and I've started to scale, maybe after 4 marks, depending on the way that he plays as well. Just because I know that he is really strong early, and he doesn't have the value of late game scaling that I have as Kindred, and so I play into that. And instead of trying to match his early game strength and beat him in where he's good at, I give him that early game, I try to minimize the impact, and then beat him in the late game. We can start getting some team fights going, knowing that Kindred is really good at team fighting, and Volibear is really not. So my entire priority this early game was keep the game state from becoming so doomed that it's irrecoverable, and try to keep my bot lane alive, right? I want to try to counter gank Volibear. I want to try to predict where he's going and prevent his early game power from actually creating impact to the game, right? If he just runs around and wastes a bunch of time, then that's actually really good for us, because Nasus is stacking, is stacking, right? His Q stacks. Asol is gaining XP, and I actually don't know the nuances of how his scaling works, but I just know that he becomes a monster in the late game if he can get there. So Volibear not attacking those lanes, not killing Nasus early, not killing Asol early, not killing my bot lane early, that's a hard win for me, right? Instead of, you know, me actually trying to get, you know, me trying to kill the Brand, or me trying to kill the Victor, or me trying to kill the Yorick, right? Or me 1v1ing Volibear and trying to out-mechanic him. You know, yeah, sure, it's possible, but why, right? Why flip the game trying to 1v1 Volibear at this crab when that's like, when that's probably going to be one of his best, like, it's going to be one of the best matchups that he's going to have against me throughout the whole game. So why would I give that to him? Why would I not just take that off the table and wait until things are more in my favor? So that's exactly what I do. Notice, and that's why I path top to bot as well, because I wanted to be here. You know, I want to be over here in case Volibear took like a level 3, you know, early gank, dropped his camps for it, and if he didn't, so we could meet on this bot side, and I could protect this bot lane, at least try to, right? You know, there's no guarantees in solo queue. So had a nice clear. I did use my second smite for some reason. I actually don't know why. My mark spawns on top side, which was super unfortunate. You know, it would have been just so nice if I could have gotten this free mark, because as you'll see, I was totally unable to contest these early marks because we had no prio. But I give the mark, I don't even kind of mess for it. Take the free scuttle. And at this point, I actually don't know where Volley is, so, you know, I'm playing safe. I'm thinking maybe he's going to pop out of here, and then right here, he hits mid, and he kills my mid laner, which was, of course, very unfortunate, but at the same time, the fact that he got mid instead of my bot lane, he got 1 instead of 2, and, you know, Asol taking a random death at 3 minutes in the game, that doesn't ruin the game, right? He didn't even really lose minions here because he had TP, so there was very little impact created by this game. You know, Volibear got 300 gold, he got some XP, that was about it. So I avoid him as he comes back to the river, I reset, my camps. I was able to get the Retrix, and I bought a pink board as well, and switched to Sweeper. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. So at this point, you can see Volley's pinging, he's looking to gank, and I am just full clearing, right? That's kind of the MO, is I want to stack XP, you know, I just want to collect as much gold and XP as safe as I can. I want to counter Volley ganks when I can. So right here, the reason why I didn't go mid is because we saw him, we had this bush warded, so I had a little bit of faith in my ASOL that he wasn't going to die to this gank, right? Because we saw him in there, I actually didn't know, that's pretty funny. Instead of wasting time, I just continued clearing, right? So while he's walking around, and this is what I want, right? While he's walking around wasting time, having failed ganks, I'm clearing my camps. Right here, I was thinking maybe I can do something bot because he just went topside, right? So I'm playing the opposite side of the map. And I do want to get these guys ahead, you know, if I can. And I do have kill threat on them, so you know, that's what I'm looking for. But obviously there was vision, so it doesn't happen. I'll go back to my Krogs. This was actually not great, you know. Could have already had my Krogs cleared, and you know, just had better tempo. Could have already reset, been back on the map, dragon. But that's all right. You know, it is what it is. So I take my sweeper. The ward's gone now. Still trying to play this bot side. Go in. There's no flash over this, so we don't get the kill. Unfortunate. A little bit better coordination here, a little bit better communication. You know, probably could have made something happen. But again, it's solo queue. You know, you don't want to have high expectations in that kind of way. You want to play off of what your teammates give you. So I get collapsed on here. I go for the scuttle, and you know everybody rotates on me. So I have to flash away. And that's exactly what I do. Right? I just give the mark. Right? This is a mark camp. I'm still at 0 marks. We're 6 minutes in the game. Right? Not great for me at all. But you know, instead of fighting it, I just give it. And then you know I thought maybe we might be able to do something with Victor while Volibear was taking the crab. It doesn't happen. Take Volibear. While ASOL attacks Victor. ASOL is able to get the kill because I soaked all of Volibear's pressure on me, and then we're able to escape. Right, now that was actually a really nice play from ASOL. ASOL low-key carried this game. Of course, I facilitate. I mean, we'll get to you know how I actually played, but ASOL did really great in this game, honestly. But that was huge. You know, being able to protect against the volley, get the volley on me so that he couldn't touch the ASOL, and then the ASOL was able to solo the Victor. Of course, I did a little bit of damage on him. You know, that was just that's exactly how you know I want to play this, and I actually didn't even you know really anticipate or need the ASOL to get killed at this point in the game. But I'll take it, you know, because he's a hard scaler. So any gold that I can get him is a win for me. So we are down, you know, almost 1,000 gold 8 minutes into the game. There's only been 3 kills this game, which for me that's perfect because like I said earlier, this is a slow open, right? So we're full clearing, we're counter ganking, we're not invading, we're not aggressively attacking lanes, we're not contesting scuttles, you know, we're not taking river fights. We're not stealing raptors, right? We're not doing any of those things. We're literally just trying not to die, and we're trying to keep our teammates from dying. So we're pinging the enemy jungler, we're following the enemy jungler, right? We're shadowing, we're mirroring to collect XP. So at this point, we hit level 6, and for me, you know, this is just a hard win. So I'm thinking, you know, all right, I made it to level 6, and I only have 2 deaths on my team, right? So no one hard fed. We're now hitting level 6, which means that maybe we can start fighting a little bit more. If someone gets caught, if Volibear does something crazy, I have my ult. So a little bit more agency on my side. Maybe I can start trying to get some marks a bit more aggressively. Give the Void Grubs, don't even worry about it. You know, notice my Nasus is pushed in completely, so Yorick would be able to aim my Asol's pushed in, right? So he had complete prio on the Void Grubs, so this was the correct play by him to get the Void Grubs. Then he goes back on my mid, and he ganks again, and he's able to kill the Asol again, which again, you know, it's like, I expected this. I just want to minimize the amount of it. And, you know, honestly, that should have been preventable. I think he got dove. You know, you could argue that I should have been there, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I'm trying to farm the scale. And if I don't hit my camps, I'm like into ugly. So this happens, yeah. So speaking of ugly, so this was my first death. We're 10 minutes into the game, so he's getting this dragon. Asol's TPing in, and I'm thinking that, you know, hey, I've got my ult. We made it through the first 10 minutes, like actually pretty decently. He started the dragon, and now we're able to collapse. I've got my bot lane. I've got my mid. I'm strong. You know, maybe we can do something here. If we look at items at this point, I've got my Hearthsteel Axe, so I'm feeling pretty strong. He's only up 4. You know, we're actually really even at this point in the game. So, so yeah, so I'm looking to contest this. Now, this is really unfortunate what happens. I walk up, because we really don't have any engage. You know, it's not like I have like a Leona or a Nautilus to play around, something like that. Alright, let's back this up. Alright, so I see him on the dragon. I see Bran walking up, I'm like, let's get this Bran. So that's what I'm going for. And then I try to get away. I get stunned, and I get killed in the stun before I'm able to ult. Now, I could have dropped my ult before I got stunned, but I actually, like, legitimately thought that I'd be able to get away. So I should say. So as soon as I see Volibear, I start running away. I'm queuing away. Tragic, man. Like, really bad. So that was really bad, right? It's like 10 minutes of mirroring and avoiding and protecting and counter-ganking a little bit as well. Giving the Void Grubs, you know, here's, finally hit level 6. It's the first time we're going to try to actually do something in this game. And just like kind of, right, I'm dead, and we can't contest the dragon. And so we give it. I probably should have pinged this a little bit more. You know, at this point, I was a little like frustrated, and I was in my head a little bit. I was like, man, did I just ruin this game? You know, I just fed Volibear a kill. That was everything I was trying to prevent. I didn't even get ult off. It was definitely a misplay. But this video is also an example of how even a really bad misplay like that in the early game doesn't have to be your game. Sometimes it will be. Like sometimes one mistake like that is like the game. You know what I mean? Like everything rides on you winning that fight to like get the advantage, get your team going. And when it doesn't happen, your team just collapses. It depends on the comp. And depends on the players too, and like the attitudes, emotions, and all that stuff. And at this point, I was definitely feeling a little emotional, you know. But I was trying to hold it in, you know. I wasn't flaming anybody, anything like that. I wasn't spam pinging. I'm just going back to my camp respawns. You know, at this point, I'm actually waiting for it, right? I'm like, I'm not putting myself at risk because I just died, right? In dying to volley, the way that I'm viewing it is, it kind of just extends the amount of time that we have to play like this. It extends the amount of time that they're strong and we're weak, and it's going to take longer for us to scale. And the more impact that they can have with that strength in denying its resources it's gonna take even longer, right? And if it takes too long, they just win the game. So it's very frustrating, but it is what it is, right? And I'm wanting to play around my scalers. I want to give my scalers a chance to scale, right? It's not necessarily I want to play around them. I'd much prefer to be fighting early and, you know, speed running this game. But that's not who I queued up, you know, that's not who I got when I queued. Like, you know, Riot gave me some scalers, so I want to give them a fair match. I want to give them a chance to scale, and that means I need to play early, I need to give stuff, I need to trade stuff. So right here, here's, you know, Mark Camp. actually didn't think I had gotten that. But apparently I did. Yeah, so I thought I gave that in game. I thought I had given it. You can see I ping my passive. I'm a little tilted at that point. So I'm like, man, yeah, see, I'm pinging him because I'm thinking he got the mark. But he actually didn't, so I actually got the mark there, so that's cool. That was actually kind of huge, the fact that I got that and got away. I thought I gave this. I thought I was getting it, and then he showed up, and then I had to back off of it, and I gave him the scuttle. It just shows, like, at this point in the game, how emotional I had actually gotten, because of how frustrating it is to not have success early in Kindred. That's part of why I'm making these videos, to show you a different way that you can play in some sort of situations to have more success. Because if I was trying to fight really early in these situations, like when Polybear was getting the void grubs, if I had tried to fight that, I would have just died, right? It would have been int. Like, kind of like how I tried to fight the dragon. It just would have been int. And a lot of these scenarios, are like that. So this is just the optimal way to play in this. At least, I say optimal, probably not optimal. Optimal from a gold 3, gold 2 players level. This is better than playing aggressive. So, yep, so Asol dies again. But, my bot lane is staying safe. I'm keeping my bot lane protected. Still killing camps. Monitoring this stuff. If they get into a fight, I can come help them. We're just staying safe until these two can come online and really do something with this. So right here, I don't go down here because I don't want this fight, right? Like, I want them to go under tower, and I want them to hug tower, and I want them to not give this game. Like, straight up, right? There's no minions, so they have nothing to stay here for, right? They can just leave. And if we lose the tower, fine. Plates are gone, right? There's no plates. Plates are gone. Instead, we go for a fight. Right? And I honestly should have probably been here to do something. But again, I didn't want them to take it. If we look at, if we tab, I'm starting to get a little bit of CS. Back up, we'll show what happens here. So Asol goes bot, he cleans up. Now notice while this is going on, right, so if they're A-ramming and they start fighting and dying and doing all this stuff, that, that's their choice, right? But again, my game plan is I want to let them scale, and I don't want these fights. So while all of this craziness is going on, my plates have fallen, you have no more plates, these guys should probably just back off, go reset, whatever. They push the tower, maybe I can come down, but honestly, I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, let's just give and play for Rift, maybe take top. Yeah, let's just give it. So while all this is going on, I go topside. Right, my mark spawns on Raptors. Rift is up, so I'm gonna take his top camps and I'm gonna go for this Rift while they're playing the dragon. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this bot dive was really bad. That's kind of why I'm like, slowing down my speech a little bit, just because I am analyzing, should I have done something? I'm reviewing in my head, like, what was the risk? Getting dove, ulting, not being able to kill. I probably could have made that winning and then taken the dragon, right? If I would have played that bot fight instead of hitting my camps. But the mentality, right, is if I can get a CS lead over this guy, or at least stay even with him, then I win late game. level 16, I hard beat him, even if he gets a couple kills. You know what I mean? I went into this game expecting 0-10 bot lane, them dying for the first time at 15 minutes. That's a win for me. You know what I mean? And I was able to keep farming. I was able to keep clearing. I'm not behind in CS. He wasn't able to invade, knock me off any camps. Even when he had when he's got 2 lane pryos this whole game, he should have been living in my jungle. You know what I mean? He should have been taking these on spawn. And then doing that dive play, he should have been doing that a lot more, right? But he just wasn't. So this was a win for me. I didn't have to deal with any of that stuff. I was able to avoid a lot of that kind of stuff. And he didn't play it very well. He's still 3-0-2, right? So he's thinking, hey man, this is really good. But look, we're 6-7, 16 minutes into this game, right? This is a very low kill game, and I have a Nasus and I have an Ace, right? And he's a volley bear. Okay, so you know what I mean? Like, this is really great for us if we can, and no one is really behind on farm. Nasus is able to farm, Asol's farming, and Caitlyn's actually up on farm. Right? Like, we're on track to outscale at this point. Even though we just got dove, and my bot lane just got double killed, and my Asol has been ganked twice, and we lost Grubs and Dragon. Right? We've lost 2 dragons. We've lost 2 dragons, and we lost Grubs. I have 1 assist, and it was the fight with Victor. Right? So practically, 0 impact on this game, other than floating and hovering a little bit, and I even didn't do that for the bot lane this time because plates had already fallen. So I'm just clearing. I'm gonna go top side, and I got my mark. Right, this is my 2nd mark. Right, 2 marks. We're 16 minutes in the game. I have 2 marks. Okay, that's a textbook bad Kindred game. But this is why I'm this is why I'm sharing. This is why I'm doing this video, because we're 16 minutes into this game. Volley Bear is 3-0-2. I'm 0-1-1. I have 2 marks at 16 minutes. Everything, like, on paper would say I'm losing this game. I've had a bad game. Volley Bear, jungle gap, right? Volley Bear did way better than me. He had way more impact. He was able to get 2 dragons. He was able to get void grubs. They have feats, right? So it's like everything is in their favor. He did his job. He fulfilled his role, and you could argue that I didn't, because I didn't really do anything other than AFK farm and run into the dragon and hit for the first dragon, and didn't even cast ult. Like, straight up griefed. 1 death, and then I've just been AFK farming, and then my bot lane gets dove, and I run to the top side camps to take a mark, right? Like, literally doing nothing. Okay, but it's because going into this game, my game plan, my intention wasn't I need to do stuff. I need to get fed, I need to get big, I need to carry. There was none of that. It was I need to prevent my bot lane from feeding, and I need to let Nasus and Asol scale. Right? If they are farming, they're scaling. If my bot lane isn't dying, we're winning. Right? Like, that's it. And even if I'm behind on marks, you know what I mean? Try to get them where I can. Mirror, cross map, all that stuff. But it's okay. Like, except that I'm not going to be a champion for the first 15 minutes of this game. Maybe around 20 minutes. I should really, Asol should come online. We should be able to start doing some stuff. And volley should start falling off too. So right here, after I clear this top side, they take the Drake, and that's my window to play something top side. I don't want to get counter gamed by Volley Bear, but I know he just took the dragon. We turn on fog here. Yeah, fog. Right, I know that he's coming from bot side. So let's gank this Yorick. Probably didn't need flash there, honestly. But it's whatever. We get it before Volley Bear is able to walk up. Win for us. And now, Alright, so let's back this up. Let's replay this, because this is huge. This is huge. Okay. So I get my mark. So my bot lane gets dove, and I abandon them. I go to his top side because he shows bot side. his red buff's gone. I take 2 camps. Alright, he takes the dragon. I see him at dragon, so I decide, hey, I think I might be able to kill this Yorick. I put my mark on him, so this is going to be my 3rd mark. I have to burn flash. Get the kill with E. Volibear walks up. Nasus has ult. Asol walking up. Right, we've got numbers advantage because we just killed Yorick. There you go. And we get the Rift. Right, so because I sacked, I the first 15 minutes played to keep bot lane safe. Right, then once plates fell, I said, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm gonna go topside. I'm gonna go take his camps because he's, you know, playing around. He's wasting time, so I'm gonna go hit this stuff. Raptors get marked. Yorick has been perma shoving in Nasus, so it's completely free to just walk down into this lane and kill him with Nasus because the 2 of us definitely kill Yorick. You know, that's just free, 100% free. Yeah, Nasus didn't even need to ult. Now we've got Prio for the Rift Herald. Asol, who's 3-3 and, well, at this point he wasn't 3-3 and 2. I think he was, what, 3-3 and 1 maybe, or maybe 3-3 and 0. I'm not sure. But he's got 3 kills and he's got 130 farm or 120 farm, right? You know, he's pretty much matched with Victor. He's strong. And we're level 12 now, right? We're past the level 11, so we're into that mid-game area where he can do some damage. You know, he's starting to become a real threat. So we've got massive prio, everything's looking good, and they target the Nasus, right? If we back that up, Nasus is in an ult. Nasus is in an ult, and Volibear comes up. Stuns the Nasus, right? They don't even try to touch me. I don't even take any damage until the laser. Right? They targeted Nasus in his ult. So, you know, totally free. So we take that, we get the Rift Herald. Now this game's online for us. Right? You still gotta walk it in, but notice the gold lead has shifted. So for 15 minutes we're losing. And all of a sudden we're up 29.6 to 27.5. We've got a 2,000 gold diff on them. So this was a rush, and this wasn't, you know, I didn't really know what I was doing here. I thought that maybe we could just rush this T2 with Nasus because now we're strong, right? Just trying to snowball. It was 13 to 11. Yorick, I didn't know that would block it, so I just ran right into it. And then Victor and Volibear show up, which makes sense, you know, because they're just coming out of base. And I was aware of that, but I just didn't give it enough weight. You know, I knew that they were coming out of base, they were resetting, they were going to have items, we hadn't reset. I kind of thought that maybe we could, with the Rift, maybe we could like rush the tower before they get there. And then, you know, I was just greeting, like just complete greeting for the tower, and got myself killed and kind of wasted the Rift. So, you know, not great, but it's not the end of the world because it pulled all that pressure top, and while they were all top, my bot lane was able to take the bot. So, you know, not for nothing.
The Isles remember.
Not the best trade, but again, you know, keeping my bot lane safe. I'd rather not int for it, and I'd rather not waste Rift Herald. That was really bad, but still got the T1, and that's gonna let my bot lane scale even more. Notice my bot lane, my ADC, is now actually out farming the Nasus, or not my Nasus, but the Nasus. Jeez, Varus. And so at this point, you know, the game, it's pretty obvious what's happening at this point, right? You've got a gold lead. My carries are strong. This was crazy. The fact that Warrior doesn't die here was the most crazy thing in the world. And Asol has such great synergy with Kindred. there's just, it's just so fire. He does so much damage. It's AoE, and he's got hard CC too. So it's just, so this was fire. Yeah, so I'll back this up a little bit because now we're starting to get into like more traditional Kindred kind of gameplay, right? We're starting to get a little bit more aggressive. We've got numbers advantage mid. I don't know where Volley is. He could show up, but at this point I'm thinking if he does, let's fight. You know what I mean? If he shows up, let's fight. Varus is dead. Brand is dead. I see the mark on his Grom, and I decide to contest it. Because again, he's there, let's fight. I've got ult. He's so strong. We've got numbers. And now he's playing the game that I was playing early of just mirror, avoid. So we're able to actually kill 3 of them. And I get the mark. So now I've got 4 marks. This play was huge, actually, because he got me my 4th mark. Right? And it was a forced play. It wasn't a, a backdoor or a trade or anything like that. It was, we ran at their faces, killed 3 of them, and forcibly took it. Right? And forced Volibear to go over here. And I should be caution pinging this, honestly. But I probably didn't want to annoy my Nasus, let him do his own thing, which is stupid. But for some reason, Volibear shows down here. I actually don't know what Volley is doing down here. I would think he'd want to play into the Nasus. Atacon is now spawned top. So I reset. Dragon is coming up soon. That's why he's bot, right? Because Dragon is spawning. So Atacon's coming up, and I don't know why I don't have a Dragon timer on the replay. That's weird. Yeah, there's no Dragon timer. Okay, I'll turn off Fog of War. I don't know, is it better on or off? You can see what everybody's doing. So I want to play for this Atacon, right? So I'm pinging Atacon. Back this up a little bit. Assist ping, on my way ping,
only to place it elsewhere.
Question ping, right? All of it. It's. I want the Atacon. So right here, I didn't get targeted, so I'm going down and trying to kite him. He turns on me. I get hard CC'd. I have to ult. And honestly, like got him into kill range, but my team like just straight up didn't walk up. I'm like, hey guys, let's contest for this Atacon. Again, we're really strong. We're winning. We have a 3K gold lead at this point. Level 13 to level 11. Right, this is huge. I'm 3 levels up on them. Nasus was from the top. So I died here. This was sad because we could have won this. I thought my team was kind of more on the same page as me of like, let's take this right now. But honestly, I was getting impatient. You know what I mean? Like, we're 21 minutes into this game. And I'm 3-3-3. That was 3-2-3. So, and I know that, hey, if we lose, if we lose this Atacon, things could flip back the other way. Like, we really need to push now. Now that things have gone back into our strength, our favor from the early game, we really need to push it. So Volibear takes the dragon while I'm dead. Again, ping this Atacon like mad. All right. I'm looking to fight. I'm being very aggressive now that I have items, now that I have 4 marks. Able to kill the Victor like it's nothing because Volibear is chasing Caitlyn around. I've got 17 seconds until ult. Collapse on Yorick. Nice use of the E. Doing some damage now. I was trying to get a mark on him, but I was a couple seconds too late, and I didn't want to like sit around and kind of like pause the kill, stall the kill, because I knew Volley was coming. So now I've got numbers advantages, so I'm down to fight him. I've got ult now too. If it gets messy. You don't want to chase into his jungle though, because you don't want to get cheese. We have numbers advantages, which is why we start this. It's a little risky because of the debuff of Atacon. They could definitely contest, but we're able to take it quick enough that they can't get to us. So here I go ahead and flash on him because I recognize, you know, hard window to kill. We've got numbers advantages. We just got Atacon, they're really strong. And unfortunately he flashes away from me. So I take his red buff, and Asol comes in from one side, I come in from the other, and then it's a CC, double, volley. He stuns me, but then my damage is just too much. For some reason, the brand keeps chasing. Turn on Yorick. I still have ult, by the way. And then there's a pentakill. About 5k gold. It's 22 to 11. 23 minutes into the game. Right, so I highly doubt that the Volibear thought that I was going to be 10 and 3 if he was, what, 2-0 and 3 or 3-0 and 2. And I didn't do anything for the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes even. When he got a double kill in the bot lane, ganked my mid lane twice, got the first 2 dragons and void grubs. Right, so just, you know, let's think about that for a second. This jungler, he got the first 2 dragons and he got void grubs. He had permanent prio in 2 of his 3 lanes, really all 3. Got a successful dive off on the bot lane, securing a double kill for his bot lane. And he just got pentakilled. He's down 11 kills and 7k gold. Right? It's like, how's that possible? We don't have any dragons. The only objective I've secured is the Rift Herald. Right? And Baron just spawned. And I'm this strong. If we look at farm now, 173, 147, right? So because he was, you know, he just kept running around, he kept fighting, he kept trying to harass lanes, I was able to get some tempo up on him, which made me strong, which meant when I did choose to fight, I was able to have impact. So at this point, you know, this game is pretty much ours. Let me speed things up a little bit. So now I can evade, I can take marks. I'm not so scared of Volibear. Right? It's not really strong. See, I get really aggressive, right? That was a crazy aggressive play, but I had ult, so I went for it. Kill, I wanted to go take out the dragon. This is our first dragon. After we beat the we had to completely take the pressure off the dragon. And unfortunately, they take the Baron, right? Which was actually a pretty good play by him because I just wasn't really expecting them to crush the Baron with the down. But they do. So they take the Baron, and I immediately start pinging my towers, you know, letting my teammates play safe. But we start pushing up top side. And again, we're just stronger than them, so we're not really afraid to fight. I get caught and I have to ult. And unfortunately, Volibear gets me. And then he kills my Caitlyn. And they get away. So this is pretty bad. It was just kind of a bad fight. Asol was bot lane, right? You know, I pinged all these towers, and then we got impatient, and we forced a bad fight. It is as simple as what that is, right? We all ping towers. We're like, hey, let's defend. They just took Baron. I don't have a timer, but you know, I had just taken Dragon, so there's no objective on the map. They have Baron, but there's no objective, so all they can do is push towers. So why don't we just defend towers, right? And we're stronger, so like we should be able to defend a siege. But instead, we invade the top side. Asol, Emilio, and Nasus push bot lane. They die as well. Right, so things get pretty messy. And this is just a byproduct of gold. You know, this happens a lot more in silver, bronze, and iron, where we all know even less how to play the mid and lane, right? So there's even more chaos. And people are able to play slow even less. I mean, that's what this whole sequence was a byproduct of. It was a byproduct of an inability to play slow. You know, I could have just cleared my camps. We could have hugged towers, waited for this Baron buff to end. Which it's now... Is it over? I'm not sure, actually. We could have just waited out the Baron buff. There's no objectives. There's no threat of us losing our base. You know, like it's whatever. We could just see dragons a minute and 31 from now. We could literally wait until the next dragon. But instead, we decide to try and push for these inhibs and we die while they have Baron buff, which is really stupid. They weren't able to get much out of it. They get the T1, which is honestly fine. Huge wave that I gave my bot lane because I want Caitlyn to get strong. We're coming up near the end of the game now at this point. We still have a 5k gold lead. We had 8 gold, but our deaths really gave a lot back. So yeah, this dragon is coming up soon, and we're basically looking to try and contest. Nasus is pushing top, which is gonna force somebody to go answer it, which should give us numbers advantage on the dragon, which means either winning the fight or free dragon. And they have 3, so that's another reason why we really want to hard contest this. I start invading his topside jungle, looking for a pick before the dragon spawns. Collapse on Victor. Give him a save Roman Soul. Another really nice E right before he dies. Then we get the dragon. I get another mark. I've got 8 marks now. It's my 9th mark. Alright, so we hit 2 marks like 16 minutes, and at 32 minutes we've got 9. And Volibear isn't strong anymore. You know, I've got a level advantage over Volibear, right? Like the tables have completely turned. It went from he's really strong, he's got a lot of threat, he can dive my champs, he kind of can dictate how the game goes, to lanes are pushed in, to literally the opposite. Because I didn't play into his strengths. We went the other way, we were able to stay safe, we were able to collect resources, we were able to keep everything kind of neutral enough. We gave objectives, right? We gave some objectives, we gave some kills, but we were able to save enough that we could get strong ourselves, and we outscale. So now it's an easy game, right? I'm joking about easy. So we've got Baron coming up soon. We've got Mark on Baron. Obviously, we want to go for the Baron and then end the game. We just picked off Yorick, so again, we've got numbers advantage. I've got ult. So we're trying to take this one. My English is dropping off this game. By the way, build. Kraken, Collector, IE, Shimbo, and Baron, and Volibear jumps in late, flashes away. And instead of resetting here, we're just going to look at the game. I've got Roman Soul with me. Speed up a little bit. Victor. Take on Yorick. Double kill for Aesol. Take the Indian. Turn on the Brand if it gets close enough. Turn on the Varus. In case something happens, or somebody's taking turret aggro. Instead of chasing the bodies, and that's game. 33-16, 10k gold diff. And I ended that game 14-4-7 with 500 gold bounty and about a 20 CS lead. Right? He went 6-2-6 himself, right? So he played really well, but Yorick got completely shut down. Yorick ended up going 1-9-2, right? Even though he had, just think about that. Even though I didn't gank him at all in the beginning, he had perma push on Nasus, right? Perma prio the entire early game for the first 16 minutes of the game. But I was able to get some kills on him because of the way that he, the way that he played. He pushed up, didn't play safe, didn't kind of respect the threat of the gank, and was never able to actually get past Nasus, right? Because Nasus was sitting under tower all the time. That's where Nasus wants to be. Volibear would have had to dive him at full HP. He really kind of needed to draw him out, kill him, and then he can push. But it just didn't happen for him because he just had him pushed up the whole time. Victor started out strong, ended up going 6-9-3. Their ADC also, right, just got completely shut down because we just didn't give them any kills, because we just didn't take many stupid fights, right, where they were able to just get free stuff. 2-7-5. We waited until we were really strong, and we forced them to have to play really smart. And most players just aren't gonna play up to that level. And then Brand also, just completely got shut down. 5-4-6, 14-4-7. My buddy Asol hard carry 11-3-10. We kept our ADC alive, right? She contributed. And then Milio, I really don't like playing with Milios. I'll be honest. Nothing. I don't think I mentioned anything that he did this entire video, right? There was nothing. I don't find that they do anything ever. I feel like they're just really useless. But that's probably my own fault for not really knowing how to kind of utilize them. I think I used his heal one time after I got hit with a brand spell before Baron, but that was, he was just kind of there, right? I feel like this was mostly me and Asol. And of course Nasus, getting big made it really easy, but just keeping my bot lane from feeding was the biggest thing. And then us three would just hard scale and carry the game in late, and that's exactly what happened. So I hope this was entertaining or tolerable, enjoyable, helpful, insightful, maybe, of a bit of a different perspective or a different view of how you can approach playing Kindred, specifically in games where the draft, it's kind of draftive in the early game, and you have either 3 losing lanes or 3 lanes that don't have prio, that are just kind of hugging tower, and you can't contest objectives. You got to give every objective. You can't fight for scuttles. You can't invade for marks. You can't even really gank lanes for 15 minutes, right? There's a lot of people that would just say go FF, right? As soon as it hits 15, FF, give up the game. Let's just go next. But as you can see, if you're willing to give it another 20 minutes or so, you can get yourself a pentakill, and you can get your mid laner to go 11-3-10 with a 700 gold bounty and a 10k gold diff with 11 marks, and have a really good game. And it's also kind of funny. The last thing that I'll end this on, if I can find where my first death was. Let's see. Oh, come on. Is it right here? Yeah. I don't know if it'll it might be too late. I don't know if it'll show it. When I died here, right, low-key ended. Yeah, it doesn't show. Yeah, it does. Yeah. So this made me mad. Right, after I died, the Volibear laughed at me. Right? I got so mad when he did that. I muted him. And so to end up here. End up here.
Let's go!
With him hiding, getting shoved in the fountain. That's how the game ends. So just keep that in mind, right? That sometimes, when the enemy jungler, when you misplay and you die, level 6, after giving the first 5 minutes, and the enemy jungler low-key kind of griefs you by emoting in your face bad manners, right? But you know, I get it, right? It's competitive. You know, it's all in good and fun. But it just you know, it made me mad. I was like, come on, bro. Like, you know that was like, you know I made a mistake. Like, you're really gonna, like, you know, is that really your great achievement, right? It's like, is that the best that you get, you know, when somebody like accidentally runs into you, you know? But yeah, just being able to turn it completely around by some smart game sense, right? Not getting tilted, not getting angry, not forcing stuff, not just brainlessly fighting, but actually recognizing what our win cons are, where we're strong at in the game as a team, and intentionally choosing not to really play the game until then, right? Only playing the game when something was going to happen that would prevent us from reaching that point, right? So if he starts camping my ASOL, if he starts camping my Nasus, if he starts camping my bot lane, you know, if they're unable to farm, if they're unable to be on the map and scale, then I've got to attend to that. You know, that's my job, is to prevent that in this game. So, and this is how it played out, right? We were able to get strong, and we got ourselves a penta, which is awesome. This is my first penta in gold. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked it. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts if you made it all the way through. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about in the future. And I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye. Cheers.